permitting transgender athletes to participate in teams corresponding to their affirmed gender. For 12 years, the NCAA permitted transgender women to participate in women's sports events under NCAA control as long as they did 1 year of testosterone therapy.
Why we should care? We should care because it takes away other opportunities for athletes and it ensures fairness for athletic competitions.
In this photo, it shows that on one side they agree with transgenders and they're protesting about equality for transgender athletes. On the other side, they are showing that they are protesting about gender equality and rights and about fairness, but we will get more into this in our political lens.
Here we have two opposite sides of the spectrum. On the left, we have Riley Gaines, who is an NCAA All-American swimmer. She is also a spokesperson for independent women and feels that transgender athletes should not be able to compete due to biological advantages. On the right, we have Dr. Veronica Ivy, who is an elite track cyclist, who is also a transgender woman. She is a spokesperson for gender-affirming care and feels that transgender people should be able to continue to compete against cisgender people.
Our cons on transgenders participating in women's sports is the fairness, is the physical advantages, the safety is the greater strength and size of transgender women is a safety concern in all sports. Preserving women's sports could alter the dynamics of women's sports and especially the participation rates. Guideline issues, establishing clear, fair, and scientifically supportive policies is challenging for both sides to make them equal.
Our pros for transgender athletes playing in sports is the inclusion and equality, so making sure everyone is equal and have fairness, like combining everyone in the sport. Psychological benefits like mental well-being, less suicide benefits, and like anxiety, and then also individual variation, so like everyone's uniqueness and like they can show it in their own variety.
That brings us to our research question. How does the inclusion of transgender athletes in competitive sports impact fairness, performance dynamics, policy regulations across different sports? It also brings us to our lenses: scientific, looking at biological things; social, cultural, looking at the different beliefs of certain people; and political, the government, what do they think about it?
So our scientific ones. Scientifically, it's unfair for transgender athletes to participate in women's sports. These reasons are they have more muscle mass, bone density, and lung capacity. A male's lungs hold 6 liters of oxygen, and a female's lungs hold 4.2 liters of oxygen.
This is transgender athlete Flair Blemming from San Jose. She spikes a volleyball into Peyton McNabb's face and gives her a severe concussion. Because of this incident, the young female athletes are scared and concerned about their safety, competing against people who are biologically stronger. Here's the video of a volleyball getting spiked in her face.
Cece Tepler. In 2019, she became the first transgender woman to win an NCAA championship in the women's 400-meter hurdle in the Division I. This took away other titles for other female athletes and athletes that participated in this event.
This is Leah Catherine Thomas. She's an American swimmer, attended University of Pennsylvania. In her 200-yard freestyle, Thomas set an Ivy League record with a time of 1 hour, 43 minutes, and 12 seconds. For her 500-yard freestyle, Thomas won a time of 4 hours, 37 minutes, and 32 seconds, beating her closest competitor by 7.5 seconds. Her 100-yard freestyle, Thomas set a full and Ivy League record at 47.63 minutes, by beating one of the girls that was going for their third title.
This is an impact through social cultural norms. Looking at the social aspect, Policy changes and implements different rules are necessary for the comfort of others. Inclusion, making sure that everybody feels welcome in a sports space. However, we do have people who feel unsafe. Cisgender women feel that transgender athletes should not be allowed into female locker rooms. Through a cultural lens, there's religious beliefs. Many feel that it's wrong and that it's defiant against God to change your gender, to identify how you feel about yourself. Transgender athletes interfere with the basic beliefs that others have, including science.
This is the impact of the political lens. So on one hand, transgender women should have the rights to compete in their accordance with their gender identity, emphasizing the importance of equality and acceptance in sports. On the other hand, we have some individuals are raising concerns about fairness, arguing about transgender women may have physical advantages over women due to the differences in genetics.
What are our solutions? How can we fix this and make everybody feel welcome? We promote a rule that states all transgender athletes must compete in the assigned sex at birth sports. If you were born a male and you are now transgender as a female, you must compete with males. That eliminates the discomfort that cisgender women may feel. But also we have another solution of inclusion. Make a transgender-only league. We can have sports where transgender women, as a subdivision, can compete against other trans women. But also, we can test these people biologically to see if they actually have an advantage. We can look at a recently transgender woman who has not had any hormone therapy. And we can also look at somebody who has had hormone therapy for a year, 2 years, or more, and see how they compare to a biological.
Trump's executive order. President Trump signed an order to ban all transgender athletes from being able to play in opposite gender sports. And here's the video showing himself.
President Trump just signed an executive order that bans transgender athletes from participating in girls and women's sports. The order will mandate schools and athletic organizations begin enforcement immediately. It requires athletes to compete in sports that correspond to their gender assigned at birth. The White House says it will promote safety and fairness in sports.
The people want men and women's sports.
And then that's
Very well done. And I will ask, I'm going to ask you some questions right now. And I am going to start with Addie. Addie, could you please tell me what is an example of a compelling argument from one of your peers' individual reports that you decided to exclude, that you did not include in your team's presentation, and why did you choose to leave that out?
Something that we felt would be best left out is the one-sided argument of only cisgender athletes. I felt that it was unfair to only show one side of the spectrum. Other people have feelings too. How are we going to come up with a solution that includes everybody and makes everybody feel safe and welcome at the same time if we just have one side of the perspective? So I decided that maybe we should include the perspective from transgender athletes. How do they feel? How do they feel not being able to be allowed into a sport that identifies with their self-being?
Thank you very much, Addie. And Angelina, could you please describe an argument from one of your peers' individual reports that made you think differently about your team's solution or conclusion?
I think to make our solutions, Addie's point of view about thinking about others and not just thinking about one side of it, what really helped us out. come up with our solutions because we thought about like thinking about their thoughts and like maybe only making a transgender league or something like that. And I thought that really helped us with our solutions and helped us all cooperate with each other.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Angelina. Well said, honey.
Chris,
And,
go ahead.
sorry.
That's okay.
And Chris, could you explain, actually I'm gonna pick a name because Angelina heard it. Chris, how does a team decide to include Angelina's perspective, conclusions, in the overall presentation?
We decided to like use Angelina's perspective and conclusions towards like how the women like in college soccer and volleyball and swimming, like how they feel about what happens, like the video how the lady got the volleyball spike in her face and how she felt after that and how she protested against it because she didn't think it was right that she has to play against someone with like more muscle, more strength, different hormones, taller, stronger, faster, and just the overall fairness.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Chris. Well said. Thank you, honey.